Testing, test.
What is up, guys? Welcome to Diggity, the video game podcast. I don't know why it's a black background. What's going on? Oh my god, what's happening right now? Do you see that?
I don't know either.
Do you see that?
Nope, sure don't.
People can hear us, but our video's not there. What's going on?
That's exciting.
Yeah. What the front fucking door is this? What is going on?
I see the black background now.
Wait. Aha! Success!
Aha!
Oh my god, technical difficulties, might I add. Good Lordy McGordy.
It's always fun.
Oh my god.
I love how in Streamlabs you can not change anything and everything will be fucked up the next time you go to use it.
Yeah, I didn't touch a fucking thing.
It's incredible.
I've had the same setup for
a while.
Oh god, it's been probably at least, I mean, with the side-by-side shit, it's had to have been at least probably...
What, 4 episodes at least?
Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, technical difficulties, it is what it is, I guess, you know?
Yeah,
It's stupid. We love technology here at Diggity. But anyways,
right.
guys, welcome. I'm Jeff James, with me as always, the incredible, unobtainable, luscious Brody Falls. Looks like we're wearing the same shirt today, side by side. I promise you we're not.
that's right.
But,
I got Thor on my shirt.
You know, we're just cool like that. We matched. So you know, looks like we're actually, if we like go side by side like that on video, it actually looks like we're just wearing one shirt, sharing it.
We're conjoined twins.
Exactly. But anyways, guys, each and every single week, Brody and I discuss gaming news from around the interwebs, bring it live to your ears on every single major podcast platform. So every single Friday morning, early, you'll get our episode each week, our weekly dose of Diggity. And then if you want to watch us live on YouTube and Twitch, every single Thursday evening around 9 p.m. Eastern, we go live for your eyeballs. So it's incredible. And then you can also check out our other podcast. We haven't plugged it. Actually, I didn't realize we hadn't done that.
Well, we plugged it at the end. We never plug it at the beginning.
Well, you can
We always forget.
You can go check out one of our new podcast endeavors with the WASD and Beyond boys. It's called Objectively Bad. Oh my god, Objectively Bad Opinions podcast. It's on every single podcast platform as well. So head on over there, check it out.
And it's on YouTube now.
And it is on YouTube now too, and that goes.
You
live.
can watch Nick and I eat the Pocky
that's right.
one chip challenge.
Yes, yeah, you almost died
And-
from eating a chip.
Yeah,
Crazy.
almost died. One chip about took me out. It's incredible.
Yeah, so it's crazy times, and it is what it is. So I lost my train of thought here on opening notes. I mean, shit, follow us on social media if anybody likes to use social media anymore, unless you've decided to hate it like Brody and myself have, and find no value in it. But you know, go for it. Subscribe to us on Instagram and Twitter at Diggity Podcast. And then with that, dude, what have you been playing?
I played a little bit of Cold War Zombies on Friday night. I played quite a bit of...
A little bit or a lot?
Okay, I played a lot of Cold War Zombies on Friday night. I also started a game on Game Pass called Lethal League Blitz, and I played that for about 5 hours straight. It's fantastic. It's kind of like a fighting game mixed with like racquetball. The only way you do damage is by hitting the opponent with a ball, and it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend checking it out. I think it's like $20 on if you don't have it on Game Pass, but I was playing it on PC Game Pass, and it was fantastic. And then we thought we weren't going to be able to talk about this, but now we can. I've been playing a absolute shitload of Riders Republic. Over the course of like 2 or 3 days, I played a ton of it, and we'll cover it a little bit later, but the beta is now open, and it is free, or open beta, and it is, I think, extended to the 28th now.
Yes.
So, fantastic. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but what have you been playing?
I, my friend, have been playing some Overwatch as per usual. Played a little bit of that with Enrique the other night. And then I have also been playing Riders Republic. We played the closed beta, like you and I said. The NDA on it, we're like, okay, shit, we can't say a damn thing about this.
Yeah,
and
you can barely even say that you played the damn thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then when they opened it up, fantastic. We're like, oh, great, perfect. So played a lot of that, and we'll jump into that later, both of us. Yeah, I mean that's kind of those two things. It's been a busy week. Tried to play games with you on the weekend, but then I passed out because I'm foolish and I'm going to the gym now like I should. But
it's not foolish. You'll get used to it
shape
soon.
That I get absolutely exhausted.
Oh yeah, you'll get into the swing of it here
great.
soon. And bounce back.
I was in like a puddle of sweat today. It was fantastic.
That's right. It was. I mean, even inside the gym, it was fucking hot today. It's just miserable here.
It's gross.
Humid as hell and
It
fucking
is gross.
just
And
terrible.
It's like, there's like these weird. I'll look at the weather app, right? And then it'll be like, hey, it's gonna be 75 on Wednesday, and then halfway through the day, that 75 on Wednesday changes into 81 on the forecast, and you go, okay, cool. It's another week of this bullshit. And then you look at the humidity, and it's like 80%. And you're like, okay, cool, great, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, for all of you that live in states or areas that are, way hotter, but the humidity is practically zero. The humidity fucking sucks.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
When we were in Vegas,
just makes
we both
everything
loved
muggy. Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
No.
It was hot, but the humidity was minimal. And here it's just swampy. You walk outside, it's like, oh, I'm sweating. Fantastic.
God, it's brutal.
Terrible.
And the random pop-up storms.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It is a nice place to live, though. I'm not going to bash it.
It is.
Anyways,
that's right.
Yeah, so I said later, but yeah, I totally.
It's right now.
Riders Republic review. So let's jump into kind of our first impressions. Do we want to kind of keep it a little short because we're going to do ultimately a review on the whole thing when it releases?
These are just kind of first impressions. We've played. I've probably played. I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 hours of this beta.
And I think I've played about
probably pretty close.
4.5. I played a little bit more the other night when you weren't on. Last night.
Yeah.
Exploring a lot more of the map and stuff like that. So I'm probably about 4.5 hours in.
Yeah, it's really good. I thoroughly enjoy it. From what I've played so far, it's very arcadey, which is a good thing and also something that kind of annoys me about it at times because some of the movement is not as fluid as I would like for it to be at moments. I mean, it's not terrible, but some of it definitely, like, we were playing the other night, and I was trying to do some of the trick challenges, and one of the trick challenges, you have to drive on a plank that is, like, a foot fucking wide.
Yes.
And ride a bicycle across this, and trying to get across this was just impossible. I mean, you constantly fall off. When you reboot back up, it does kind of some weird shit. Again, this is a beta, but this does come out in October, so there are some changes they could make there, but we'll have to see if they actually make those changes. But some of the movement is not as excellent as I would hope, and it mainly really was a problem during these trick trials, or these trick challenges, rather than in races. It's not too bad. There are collision physics during the races, which can be quite frustrating because people are fucking assholes, and they'll just hit you. You're like driving, or you're riding through these zones. And so these people will come up and like knock you off the zone, and then you have to fucking. It has like a rewind feature, and you rewind back, and then you can go through the zone. So that can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but I don't think they should take that out. I think the collision physics are good to have in there, but it was also erratic. Sometimes the collision physics would work and other times it wouldn't. So you never know when to expect if you're going to get kind of hit off of a point or not. But really, I mean, the snowboarding and skiing felt the most fluid to me out of anything. I thought the movement for those two particular modes of transportation were the best. There's also a jetpack, and it's a nightmare. I slowly started to get used to it, but at the first race I did with it, I absolutely sucked. I got my ass kicked, and it was really, really bad. Once you kind of get used to it, it's not terrible. The wingsuit is also pretty tricky, and that's something we really didn't feel too strongly about. Yeah, once you kind of figure that out, it's not too terrible. But there's some things, there's challenges in each race that you do, and it'll be like, hey, you got to stay this close, or you have to have near miss to the ground to get this many points in one combo type deal, and that made it very hard to actually traverse the rest of the race without you can use left trigger and it'll actually like pick you back up and you can gain air and then go back down again. And it was a little finicky trying to figure that out. But right off the start, you get a pretty good tutorial of everything, almost to the point of it being exhausting. It was almost an hour and a half before you actually kind of open up.
Yeah, like 45 minutes to an hour tutorial, but it wasn't like you're clicking a bunch of stuff. I mean, you were
no.
You were trying.
You're racing.
You were in the game playing. You're right into it, which I actually really liked because a lot of like extreme sports games, it's like, oh, this is where you're gonna, and there's a little bit of that, But you're hitting X and like, okay, I get it. I just want to go and shred some gnar. But now, it makes it a lot easier. You can just jump right in and immediately shred some gnar.
Yeah, right off the bat, I think it starts you off with biking. So you're biking for like 2 or 3 races in a row, and then you do a couple of snow races, and then I think you do a jetpack race, and then I think right at the very beginning you're actually doing a combination of all of them, but then it takes you through each of these career paths is what they're calling it. But no, I mean, so far I'm really enjoying it. Again, it is arcadey. It can be frustrating at times, but it's basically what I wanted to see from this game. I wanted this arcadiness. I wanted this like goofiness of, running around this world and playing as a giant inflatable T-Rex type thing, and it provides that. And we couldn't quite see how much the in-game currency cost. They have that blocked off, which is a smart choice by them, I assume. But in the closed beta, they actually gave us, I think, 1,000 of that in-game currency to buy like one costume, essentially. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to keep that or not. Probably not. But we were able to actually kind of purchase it, I guess. And then you can also earn a different in-game currency, but there are some costumes that are locked behind this currency that you have to purchase. So it's about what we expected. It's not a huge deal, but it looked like most of the funny costumes, like a fucking giraffe or the panda costume and stuff like that, was mainly hidden behind this in-game currency that you had to purchase. But there are opportunities to earn costumes and things from weekly challenges, which is really cool. And I unlocked that the other day. It was actually a panda costume, so I did end up getting a panda costume. But go ahead and say your thoughts. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
I've got some notes.
Oh, you took notes, official and such.
Yeah, trying to be.
I'm winging it. I'm just out here winging it.
All right, so first off, general consensus on it before I deep dive into it was I was really looking forward to this game. I was pretty pumped. I was pumped up about this game as the moment it was announced, and obviously it's been through multiple delays. Still has a chance of being delayed. Still more, but I still have been pumped to see this game. And this game has lived up so far, even in the beta. There's a couple of things that are nitpicky that I have, but I'll roll through the good stuff first. So I was incredibly surprised by the map. One, the map size and the attention to detail in the map and how easy the map flows. When I first saw the map, I'm like, okay, there's Grand Canyon at the bottom, and then there's like, wintry mountains. The whole map is based off of the national parks in America. and not all of them are in there, obviously, but most are, and most of it's all mountainous terrain because you want the ability to move down, right? We don't want to be at the Indiana Dunes Park, with the mountain bike.
Just cruising through Iowa with corn on either side, like, exactly, oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah, so the map is truly impressive, that's for sure. You hit it right on the head. It's definitely arcadey. I mean, I'm not gonna anything I say right now is speculation to it as well, because it's not fully released. It's a work in progress, so they could change a lot of these things that I have with it. I really enjoyed the selection of different stuff. I liked how there's some serious bikes, some serious skis and snowboards and stuff like that, but then there's goofy things like a rickshaw and like an ice cream cart and interesting things. You can also just fuck around in it. You can, if you're like, oh, I don't really want to snowboard right now or whatever, I want to just explore this part of the map, you can jump on a snowmobile and just rip around, or you can just walk if you want. Later on in the game, you can parasail, you can fucking have a jetpack and just rip around all over the place if you want. So it's really cool for the exploratory stuff. There's definitely a lot of hidden Easter eggs. I started going around the other night and doing the landmarks, which basically one landmark I went to last night, I went to probably 7 or 8 of them, but was in Arches National Park, and they had Angel Arch, and so when you do there, it pans out, and then it gives you a fun fact about that geological amazing
formation
thing. Right, yeah, and or about the park, which I found really cool. And then there's little things little Riders Republic balloons that are all over the place. I ended up going on top of one of those giant black balloons that are kind of almost a signage area to notify you of that area. I went on the top of it, and there's a teddy bear chilling in a chair with a 6-pack or something and a party cup. It was kind of weird, but they had him up there for some reason. So there's lots of cool stuff like that. Map is super impressive. Controls. Brody, you're definitely right. The skis, the snowboarding, stuff like that has definitely the fine-tuned turning and stuff like that. And you feel a lot more in control. The bike sucks for tight turns. And I understand that you have to use your brake and stuff like that, just like you would if you were actually doing downhill mountain bike racing. And sometimes it works out well. A lot of times it doesn't. The view angle, I also feel is not out far enough, the camera. And you end up being very tight. And the way that the game's camera works is it's a fixed position straight ahead in the direction of the player. And you don't move it around with the right stick because that's your stunt stick. So you get stuck in this method of what you had said, that I know exactly what stunt you're talking about. It's in the Sequoia Woods or whatever.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
And so I tried doing that one. I gave up because I'm I'm not going to fucking do this. This is just ridiculous. Right. I tried changing my camera to POV or first person view. I made it worse because I couldn't look down.
Yeah.
At the thing, which is what you would probably do if you're riding the bike. And then it's all or nothing with the controls, which is kind of dumb because I would like it where it's
be a little bit more customizable too.
Think about it, right? In a racing game, you have finer motor skills when it's a slow speed at the start, and then it gets harder and harder to control said vehicle
as you speed up.
Increases, right? I have no problem with that. The problem I have is that it's almost the turning is the same as when you're going full tilt, and there's no way to keep a balance and to keep it straight, or you can't look down and see anything, and then my ass wants to move the camera while I flick it, and the next thing I know, I'm doing a little bunny hop and a spin sideways, and then I'm off the fucking plank. So that was really
fun. There is also another control scheme. So there's 2 control schemes. One of them's for racing, and the other one's for stunt, or they call it trick or stunts or whatever it was. Yeah. Regardless, the one that uses the right stick would be the stunt layout, and the other one actually uses your buttons on the right hand of your controller, and that one actually allows you to move your camera using the right stick because it no longer uses the right stick. But I found it more comfortable for most things to be using the actual stunt stick, and once you get used to it, because it does take a little bit to actually get used to that control scheme, it is hard to switch back and forth. So
yeah, for sure. So that was one gripe, is just the fine tuning of controls for different things. the rocket bike sucks ass to use.
Oh, it's so
I
bad.
ended up doing a race with that out in the desert, and
Yeah, I did that one too.
It's horrendous to try to do it. You just crash into a million things, and like I kept using my brake to turn and drift, and it doesn't help that much. I tried pretty much every sport. The mass races. So mass races are good. I think my one big complaint is that everybody looks the same when you're in there, but that's because it's the beta, and with enough time, people spread out and get their own customization. However,
I figured out what that is
really
too.
tight. And
So what that actually is, why that actually is set like that is because we have it in the beta. You don't have access to a couple of the sports, and like the down or the racing, snow racing, you don't have access to, and that's why you can't customize it. But everything else you could customize. So like when you're riding the bike, you could customize it. And one more thing, sorry, before you went on that, I wanted to talk about the camera that you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So on that camera too, like you were saying, it's far too close. So when you put on the goofy outfits, like the T-Rex outfit and shit, you cannot see anything. It is way worse. So sorry, carry on with your mass race event deal.
Yeah. So the mass race event, it's really cool. There's a lot of people in it. I just think that I understand later down into the maps. Basically, the mass races work like so. You have a shit ton of people. You're all trying to get down to the race. The race is usually done in 3 different segments across 3 different sports. So like you'll be downhill mountain biking, you hit a jump, all of a sudden next thing you know, you've got your skis on and you're ripping through the snow. Then you go down on your skis, you hit another jump. After a while, you do a front flip or even just jump it, whatever. Then it turns into a jetpack, and then you're doing a jetpack race.
Yeah.
All simultaneously or continuously through and smooth. The one problem I had with it was at the very start of the race, the trails are too tight. And what ends up happening is you have a congregation of so many people, and it becomes nearly impossible to see your person. I have no problem with thinning the herd later into the race, but within the first 10 seconds of the race, you're like crashing into shit, and you can't see a fucking thing, and it's not wide enough. I think it's almost wide enough. It's just off by a little bit. So I'd like to see them fix that and kind of funnel people in a little bit better. And then I there's some bugs, but that's it's a beta, whatever. I'm not going to hold them to that at all. I also would have liked the ability to jump while I'm walking.
That would have
been nice, or be able to like
climb a little bit better.
Something. You can climb, but like you basically just walk your character for a while. Then he gets stuck in his walking animation, and then he finally turns into like this, grab, like uphill grab walk, and that works. But like there was a point where like the only way I could get onto this one rock that had a Riders Republic
to get on your bike
was to fucking jetpack vertically up, pop my fucking parachute, and then drop down onto it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, that's fucking annoying. So
right.
I would like to definitely see that.
I ended up in an area where that was like enclosed by like a like logs around it, kind of like a makeshift. Yeah, and I was stuck if I walked. I had to get onto my bike in order to bunny hop over the shit so I could actually get out and go do something else. But
yeah, aside from that, I mean, I think it's going to have longevity. Like having the mass races across all the different parts will be nice. It only has one mass race area in Grand Teton Park.
Yeah, for the beta,
so
right?
That'll be nice when it's like spread across to a bunch of different ones. But it's good. I think there just needs to be a little bit more elaboration of like, it's seasonal. As long as they continue like Red Bull events and they do cool shit like that, I think it'll be fine. But if they leave it what it is with just the mass races and what's in the game, it's going to get boring pretty quick.
Yeah, it will get stale for sure.
Out that much. I mean, you really need to create new and exciting trails and maps, and you also need to create maybe like side stuff to keep the longevity of the game, because the actual races that you go down are actual like trails in the map that you can just do whenever. So it's the map, like you're constantly playing the map, you're not teleporting to like a different course or whatever, right? So we'll see how long that keeps people hooked onto it. I feel like there could be like party modes where like you pick up items or something and then throw them at people or something funny like that while you're going downhill. But yeah, I mean, I've had fun with it. I think it does a good job at what it's supposed to be. I am very curious about the currency side of stuff.
Yeah.
And I really hope that it is just cosmetic and it's not down to like you can get this jetpack and it gives you more boost for a longer period of time. Shit
Right.
like that. So we'll have to see that.
That'd be a problem. I really hope that progression from this carries over into the full game because I've done like 20 of the.
It will, dude, because it's tagged to your Ubisoft account.
I hope so, because some things wipe progression still. I mean, regardless of whether it's tied to an account or not. But I tried to look it up the other day, and there wasn't much information. So now that the open beta is out there, there might be some more information. I haven't gotten a chance to look yet. But, I mean, I've done like 20 out of the 50-something landmarks that are available. I've done all of the events that are available in the opening. I've gone around the entire map and opened everything up so I can see the entire map. I mean, I've put a lot of time into it, and I enjoy it for what it is. I mean, it's certainly not perfect in this state, but I really do have fun with it, and it's fun in a group.
My one side of stuff, and it could just be because I'm not exploring as much, when you get to the bottom of the map where it is more Grand Canyon and stuff like that, and it's desert, it can get a little boring.
Yeah,
in terms of landscape.
For sure.
I think it would have been interesting for them to add something that was like maybe a little oceany in some aspect or something just a little different from that side of things. But yeah, it gets a little daunting. I
imagine there's going to be some more stuff to do as well, because right now
expand the map eventually. But
yeah, I think that'll happen. But I also think even with the current map, once the game fully launches, I think there's going to be a lot more stuff scattered around the map to do. Because as it stands now, I mean, in each main area, there was like a stunt and a landmark, and I imagine there will be a lot more of that going on. Plus, the like you were mentioning, those balloons that you can pop around the map that was like collectibles, those don't appear on your map, so you actually have to just traverse the world and find them. And there's like 500 of those fucking things.
Really hidden too, yeah.
There's like 500 of them, and I've popped like 2 or 3 in like 6 or 7 hours. Granted, I wasn't
hidden. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. The one last thing I'll say before I get on to some of the Gamescom stuff is when you're like riding a bike, the terrain changes and the speed to which your vehicle goes is kind of a little extreme. So, for example, like you're riding a bike, you're ripping down, you hit the water. It's fine that I'm going slower because obviously I'm in water, but then if I'm going down a waterfall, I'm still going slow somehow on the bike, on the waterfall.
Yeah.
The snowmobile is the one that bugs me the fucking most, because if you're on snow, it's like you're on a fucking, you've got like rocket boosters behind you, but the moment you're on dirt, it's just like, and it just stops.
The bike is
dumb.
And I understand kind of the slowdown mechanic in the bike is they want to keep you on the path, but I agree. I think it might be a little drastic because it slows you way down, even just going over grass. Like if you're in snow, fair enough. If you're in grass, like maybe a little bit slower, like maybe just have a variance in there rather than having a blanket.
Grass, it's just like breaks.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's pretty crazy. All right. Well, anyways, guys, moving on. We got some Gamescom announcements and trailers. So lots of stuff happened at Gamescom.
A lot of stuff. And as I dug into this, it just kept coming.
So we're gonna break it down by the different showcases, and then you're gonna take over on Wednesday opening night. But I'll start out. So Tuesday was the Xbox stream, and we got a bunch of announcements and a bunch of looks and future looks and first looks and past looks and past trailers and shit that we've seen, because everything's been so crazy where everything's, online events and then they just replay some stuff. But one of the biggest things we got was that cloud gaming is now on all Xbox consoles coming the holiday season.
This is massive. This is crazy huge.
This definitely supports our statement about a year and a half ago where we both said Xbox is just going to be a stick that you plug into the TV like Stadia.
Yeah, and there's been rumors of them working on that. We haven't really covered it because some of the rumors came from some sketchy places, right? But there's been certainly rumors of that. And now they're proving it by using an Xbox One to basically play, a fantastic version of a new game, whatever it might be. So they're absolutely proving that this is the route they want to go, and this is a big thing, and I feel like most people are not talking about how fucking massive this is.
I know, it blows my mind because I was just chatting with someone the other day at work about it, and I'm like, man, this, when these companies come out with consoles, a console is usually sold at break even or a loss.
Right.
And this negates that. It gets someone right to playing games, and if they have an Xbox One S and they want to play a Series X game that's come out, they can just boom, pop online, and now their Xbox is magically upgraded.
Yeah.
I mean, and they don't have to buy a console. They've got a console already. They can just get right in there and play the damn game and pay $60 for the game, which is pure revenue.
And one place where this adds value for like the Series X and Series S, because this also applies to that, Game Pass games. You don't have to download them. You can literally just play them from the cloud on your Xbox, which is awesome. I mean, that's great. Even if you just wanted to try it out to see if you like it before you download it, like say you have slower internet or whatever it may be, you can do that, and now you could either, play it via the cloud, or you can download it later if you're like, hey, I'm going to put a bunch of time in this, I want faster load times, or I want it to be a little bit, whatever it may be. Sure. You can download it then. But I mean, this is awesome. And like I said, I have not seen very many people talk about how incredible this actually is.
I think people are holding their breath though too, because we're going to get more info on it as to what its capabilities are, like resolution, frames per second, how it works,
I saw a lot of arguments from Sony fanboys, and again, we're not Xbox people. We bought the PlayStation first this console generation, so we're completely unbiased. I have both of them. Like I'm not, but this is like, you see people on Twitter, and it's Twitter, so whatever. But people, Sony fanboys on Twitter are like, well, they're not gonna sell all the Xboxes. That's a stupid decision. Again, consoles are sold at either a loss or a break-even point. They hardly ever make any money off these fucking things. It's the ecosystem, and it's been pretty obvious that Xbox is entirely on board with this ecosystem idea, this idea of getting you in on Game Pass, on subscriptions, and things like that. They don't give a fuck about selling the console. Yeah. That's not their plan. I mean, again, you're going to have a little fucking stick you plug in the back of your TV within probably the next year or two,
and that's season they're at with something, one little box.
Yeah, and that's all it's going to be, and that's how you're going to be able to play Xbox games going forward if you want.
Something that I think is shitty is the fact that this has been done so early after releasing the Series X, and people busting their balls to try to get one originally. Now it's pretty easy to get a Series X, but like busting their
easier,
balls. And then, well, in theory, it seems to be easier around here where we're at,
right?
Especially at Target. But it's interesting because it's like they kind of pulled the rug out from like those people that just bought that shit. But at the same time, yes, to your point, we don't know. We also don't know what its full capabilities are. This is also a massive invitation now to raise Xbox Live and the entire pass system, right? Probably make new tiers or add-ons and an a la carte option, right, for certain things. I mean, like here's the crazy thing, right? Is again going back to someone doesn't have to buy a console now. Someone could be paying the rate for a console without ever owning something, and Xbox ever having to build it. So instead, they could be like, "Hey, you have an Xbox One S? You want to play Halo? $15 a month, you can play all the Xbox Series X games on your Xbox One S over the cloud." And now you're basically on a payment plan for an Xbox Series X that you don't own, you'll never own, and you'll never even see or touch.
That is money in their pocket.
Mind-boggling and ingenious.
Absolutely. I really don't think people are giving Xbox enough credit for this shit, because it's genius.
It is.
It absolutely is.
Absolutely.
Now, as somebody who does own a Series X, this doesn't take away from the fact that I own a Series X in my mind. Like I still think most games I'm going to download and play and play through the native console, right, rather than streaming them. But I think this is an excellent option, and I think it is something perfect for like Game Pass games, like I said, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna hop in this game for a little bit, try it out, and see what I think, and then I'll download it or whatever. But and I mean, I still have one of my Xbox One, so now that makes that console still viable, and I don't have to get rid of the fucking thing.
Sure.
Like,
yeah,
this is really good.
In your household, if your kids are like, oh, we want to play Halo, but you're playing it too, you just pop them up there, and they can just stream it. It's crazy, cool times, really interesting times. I expect the tiers to go up on this after a while of it being out, and I expect it to be pretty hefty, honestly. I really think it's going to be expensive because I think I'm
locked in for the next couple years, so it doesn't really matter. I'm grandfathered in, so I'm good for a while. But
for the new people, though, I think it's going to be pretty expensive. Anyways, moving on. At the Xbox stream, we also got to look at Forza Horizon 5. So we got a 8-minute gameplay trailer, which was fantastic to see. Beautiful looking game. Looks really fun. I mean, the last Forza Horizon looked beautiful as well. This one looks just as beautiful.
Better.
I don't know how much farther we can get to making cars look better. We got to look at a new controller, which has been a little controversial because people have said it was really ugly. And then
I like it.
Said that they really like it. I really like it too. I like the translucent plastic.
It's yellow, pink, and blue. Like
yellow,
it is
translucent. You can
translucent
see
yellow.
into the controller.
It's kind of gaudy. I will give them that, but I like it. I dig it. I think it's cool.
It's got like a pink trigger on the right side and like a blue trigger on the left side. It's got pink and blue spray paint or paint splatter on it. It's good looking. It's a really good, cool controller. And then they also revealed the cover art as well for the game. Then we got a quick montage of Humble games that'll be releasing on Xbox Game Pass on day 1. And there was also an extended look at one of these games called Into the Pit. Then we got a quick update on Sea of Thieves. It's getting a Borderlands ship that is unlockable now through September 7th. So that's kind of interesting, weird, and cool at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Summed up my thoughts perfectly.
Then we got to look at Age of Empires, and we got a history lesson on trebuchets from them, which is hilarious. Wasteland 3 is going to be getting DLC called Cult of the Holy Detention. Psychonauts 2 had a new trailer. Obviously, it's doing gangbusters, and people are pumped and excited about it from a ratings perspective. So,
absolutely
great for that series. It's been a long time coming. The Gunk showed off a new trailer. We got a look at Point Blank Games, new game called Stray Blade. We got a look at State of Decay 2, the Homecoming DLC to be specific. They showed a new trailer of that. Crusader Kings 3 is now going to be coming to console.
Which is weird as hell. I don't know how you're going to play that game on a console.
I don't know.
I tried playing it on a PC and it was complicated as shit. I can't even imagine trying to do it.
In a mouse and keyboard, right? I mean,
I think that's the only way I would ever attempt it.
Yeah, and then we got a look at some updates coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. So there's a whole list of updates that are available. You can go on the website and check that out. Microsoft's website, for that matter. And then we got to look at the Top Gun DLC within Microsoft Flight Simulator that will release alongside the film, but very little has been revealed so far. But if you can rip around in an F-16 Raptor, I'm down, baby.
Yelling at people, calling them fucking goose and shit. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I played Microsoft Flight Simulator. I liked it, but it's not a game I'm going to sink a lot of time in. But this Top Gun DLC, I might come back just to try this shit out because this is awesome. I dig it.
And then we had a bit of a Destiny showcase during Gamescom. So we had the reveal trailer for the Witch Queen DLC. Crossplay is live now along the Season of the Lost, so that's a big dealio. Weapon crafting is on its way, as well as a new weapon called the Glaive, so that's cool. Yalhorn is
Yallarhorn.
Yallarhorn is
Yallarhorn.
Nerf is also making a real-life version of the iconic weapon, so that's cool. That's awesome to see. Yeah, I love that stuff. And the final shape will include both the the Witch Queen DLC as well as the last chapter of the Light and Dark saga called Lightfall, and the game will continue after this drop. Something that people were speculating that was going to happen is that I was going to be coming to, or you're going to get like bonuses through Game Pass or something with it. And I was like, I don't know why websites were writing about that, because Microsoft does not have a great relationship with that team.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. I can't really imagine that. And Destiny typically has special things with PlayStation more than Xbox, really. So
yeah,
I don't know. I would think that if you're going to get anything, it's going to be like a PlayStation Plus exclusive type shit.
That was my thought too. I was like, they kind of burnt the bridge with Microsoft, or Microsoft burnt the bridge with them. Sorry.
Right.
Then Wednesday came along, and we got the Wednesday pre-show with a couple of little goodies. So King of Fighters 15 showed off a new trailer. This is going to be releasing February 17th. Nobody Saves the World will be a day one Game Pass title from the creators of Guacamelee, which is awesome. A little Toronto studio for a fun fact there. So this isometric dungeon crawler is arriving early 2022. And then we got to look at Soundfall, which is a rhythm action game coming to consoles in 2022 as well. So that's my spot done.
Yeah. I got the
stuff in the Xbox showcase that I wasn't expecting them to show. I thought they were just kind of really going to hit on the dev side of stuff. And maybe show off like the controller or some little stuff, but they show us some big stuff. So big deal.
I think the craziest thing is the biggest Xbox announcements actually came in the next show, not even during the Xbox stream, which was weird.
Yeah.
Wednesday after the pre-show, we had opening night live with Jeff Keighley. So this kicked off, and mind you, none of these games are in the order that it was actually shown in the video. It's all over the fucking place. So it's just as I got things in here. But so Saints Row is actually getting a reboot, which is crazy. So this got a cinematic trailer as well as some gameplay, and this will be releasing February 22nd. I'm actually pretty excited for this. A lot of people are pretty down on it, but I really like Saints Row.
Here's my deal with it, right? I have wanted to get into Saints Row a lot of times. However, Saints Row is funny, but also tries way too hard to be funny.
Yeah.
In the past,
this seemed a little bit more grounded.
Like, and I'm totally down for crude and rude humor, no problem.
Yeah.
But like, it's like having the fucking clown at the birthday party constantly like try to make a fucking balloon animal in front of your face when you usually play it. So to see this go more of the witty side of things, while also being funny, I'm extremely excited for it. I'm going to keep my eyes on it, and I might pick it up.
Yeah, by the time they got to like Saints Row 4, it was just crazy. I mean, just absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, and that stuff doesn't really bug like that in itself is
funny.
fine.
It's just like,
but there's just so much
with shit.
Yeah,
like,
it escalated a lot from like Saints Row 1 and 2.
Bullshit. Just cheap jokes and like just trying to be like, we're not Grand Theft Auto. We're trying to be like an even uglier version of Grand Theft Auto. It's like, we're not. Nobody wants that. Make a good fucking.
It was almost like middle school version there at the end. Like it just got a little bit too crazy, right? Like, but I'm super excited to see what this reboot does. I mean, some people were upset that these are no longer gangsters. They are now like hipsters, is what they were basically saying. I'm like, I don't mind it, but
there's a little bit of.
It is different. Yeah,
a little bit of a woker crew, but
right. We'll see what it is, right?
Out.
As long as they can, recapture what I enjoyed about the first two Saints Row games, I'm in. By the time we got, like I said, in the Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4, I kind of started to fall off. So I'm excited, but cautiously excited. The next one, which is another huge one that I'm super excited about, Marvel's Midnight Suns. So this is a tactical RPG game from the makers of XCOM, and this is releasing on March 22nd. March 2022, not March 22nd. This could not be any more up my fucking alley if they tried. I mean, take Marvel and slap it into a tactical RPG game, I'm there. 100%, I'm there. It could suck ass, and I will still love this game. It's incredible. We also got to look at Horizon Forbidden West. This now has a release date of February 18th.
The stuff coming out in February that's looking good.
February's looking really crowded, or spring in general is looking very crowded next year. So pre-orders for this will start on September 2nd. And we got a little bit more look at the game itself. Still looks great. I'm fucking stoked for it. We got another trailer of Far Cry 6, kind of more of what we expected, a little bit more focus on the villain here. Got to look at Crossfire X. They showed a very short trailer, but still have not revealed a release date for this, which is concerning.
Hey, you know what? They're gonna get to it. They're gonna get around.
They'll get there. Midnight Fight Express, not Flight Express. It's a crazy beat 'em up game that was previously announced for Game Pass, and this is going to be launching next summer, so something out of next spring finally. But this looks really cool. It's a very interesting take on kind of a beat 'em up style game. It's kind of isometric camera and looks cool. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. So we saw a new trailer for this, and they finally confirmed the new release date of spring 22 or 22. Gosh, it sounds weird to say. I don't know why. I just don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't roll off the tongue right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, off the tongue better in 2020.
Good God.
Shit year.
But my kids have been asking me all the time about the Skywalker Saga, and so they will be stoked to hear when this is coming. UFL. So this is a free-to-play challenger to the FIFA Ultimate Team, which is awesome. This is going to focus on player skill rather than pay-to-win elements, or so they say, so we'll see what that actually comes out to be. But this is being developed by a new studio called Strikers, and I guess they've already had about 5 or 6 years of development on this game at this point, so it shouldn't be too far off. And the release date should be announced here very, very soon. We got to look at Replaced, which is a game that we've seen before. This is a stylish side-scrolling action game set to release next year and will be coming to Game Pass. It kind of has a pixelated style, but it looks really, really gorgeous. I'm super stoked for this, too. Halo Infinite. This is the big announcement that wasn't in the Xbox stream that is so strange. So they kind of got a multiplayer trailer for this and also a release date. So this is going to be releasing on December 8th. It will be launching without co-op campaign, as well as it will be missing Forge at launch too. So that's not amazing, but it's not a deal breaker for me by any means. They also announced that the Halo Infinite Series X, as well as the controller that comes with that console, looks fucking gorgeous. I like it a lot. I know a lot of people don't, but I dig it. As well as a Master Chief Elite Wireless Controller 2, which will be releasing on November 5th, as well as the Series X controller.
November 15th, yeah.
15th, sorry. I cannot read today. I don't know what it is. It's killing me. These really look cool. The Master Chief Elite Wireless Controller's awesome looking. It's gaudy as fuck, but it looks cool.
Are you bummed out about the co-op campaign and all that kind of stuff being separate? I guess you don't really have to care because it's Game Pass.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it is not a deal breaker for me, especially when you got a free campaign. But it is kind of weird to launch, or not a free campaign, free multiplayer. It is kind of weird to launch this in that state when you are asking someone to pay full price for just the campaign, because the multiplayer is free. So it is a little strange. Again, I have Game Pass, so it really doesn't affect me too much. I mean, it would be nice to be able to play the co-op campaign, play with Lawyer Craig, but I think I'll survive. I think I'll be okay. A lot of the internet is very upset about it, though.
Here's a look at that beautiful Halo controller.
I dig it. I dig it
a lot. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
I do. I dig the controller, the Xbox, and the Elite controller. I like it all.
The copper D-pad.
Yeah. To match the visor color. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And it's distressed too. It's cool. Look at these sweet shots. Damn, look, we got some blast shit on the side here. We got some. We got some wear here, just like you would when you get stick drift.
No.
I'm just messing. Did you see this? The charging pad says Echo 216 on it.
Oh no, I didn't. That's cool.
That's pretty neat, right?
Yeah, I dig it. I think it's cool.
$199.99, which means that scalpers are going to sell these bad boys for like $300.
Oh, they're already sold out. The Xbox Series X with the controller and this is entirely sold out. The console is already appearing on eBay for like $1,000 plus. So there's that.
God.
Scalpers are fucking awesome. Gotta love it. So Call of Duty Vanguard. We got a pretty long look at the campaign on this for what it is. It's the yearly upcoming COD game. I'm not stoked on this game this year. I feel like I've made that abundantly clear, but here we are. They brought Laura Bailey out on stage, who is, a very renowned voice actress. And she made her appearance basically to introduce her character. But her character didn't really talk during the scene, so that was kind of weird. And also,
being a voice actor and they pay you not to talk,
right? It's kind of weird.
Big deal, dude.
Just grunt a little bit, but the PlayStation Alpha for this game starts on the 27th and runs through the 29th. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, you can play that starting now. And if you're watching us live, you can play it tomorrow. So, and it'll run through the weekend. At least give it a go. I think I'll probably check it out just for shits and giggles, so we can talk about it next week.
And we can kind of. Both of us have been pretty vocal on the fact that we aren't keen on this one, mainly because we've got a dose of World War II and World War I with Battlefield.
Yeah.
So, but I'll give her a go.
Yeah, we'll probably give it a go and talk about it a little bit next week. But next up, we saw Park Beyond, and this was actually a world premiere of this game. So this is a park building simulator that actually lets NPCs break the. This is the new trailer as well as the announcement of the open beta, which started right at the tail end of the closed beta. And this is going to be available through the 28th. This also launches on October 28th or the 18th, one of the two. Genshin Impact showed off a new trailer showing Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. Some people that play Genshin Impact weren't keen on this, but I think it's a cool, interesting kind of combo. We saw Doki V. I don't remember how they pronounced it in the trailer. I always do that. So this is a very interesting game. This one kind of caught my eye and is very strange. So it's going to be an open world creature collecting adventure game. It was originally listed on the website as an MMO. They got rid of that because it is no longer an MMO, but the original idea was for it to be an MMO. This is coming from Pearl Abyss, who makes Black Desert Online. So this seems to combine a lot of elements from other games, such as the monster collecting from Pokemon, obviously, as well as the combat actually kind of looked like Monster Hunter at times.
Yeah.
And also like Devil May Cry, and then there's like a whole traversal system where you can like skateboard and do stuff across this world. It was very, very strange. This game had like your character looked kind of like a chibi-esque type of thing, but the graphics on it looked gorgeous. And then the world was like this very kind of realistic thing, and then there's like almost a Splatoon effect on your weapons. It's very, very bizarre. I don't know what to expect from this game, but it caught my eye because it looked gorgeous. And some of it was gameplay. So it'll be interesting to see what this actually is when it comes out. But so far, you have my attention. We got to look at Cult of the Lamb, which is a roguelike game from Devolver Studios where you play as a lamb to fight off hungry assailants while you save other barnyard animals. Devolver, just keep doing your thing, man. I fucking love it. Got to look at Jet, the Far Shore, which is an interstellar exploration game. Got a new trailer at this. We've seen this a couple different times now, and this is going to be releasing on October 5th to the PS4, PS5, and the Epic Games Store. We got a new look at the Outlast Trials game, which is the next series in the spoopy Outlast games. That series, which we've already talked about it before. Jeff and I are not in on this, but it will be coming on in 2022. So if you're into spoopy games, right up your alley. Marvel Future Revolution. So this is a new trailer, basically just to celebrate that the game's now released on mobile devices. This is a game that I have not even played, and I kind of forgot it even existed. Looks cool. I might try it. I don't know if I'll play it on mobile necessarily, but I do kind of want to check it out and see what it's all about. Death Stranding Director's Cut showed off many of the new features that are going to be in this game, as well as making sure that the audience is well aware that Jeff Keighley and Kojima still have a very, very strong bromance.
Oh my god.
Just in case you forgot.
Makes me want to throw up.
Blood Hunt. So this is a third-person vampire action game. Early access begins on Steam on September 7th. Jurassic World Evolution 2. A trailer that reconfirms that its release date is going to be November 9th. Fall Guys is teaming up with Disney to bring the Jungle Book characters into the game.
That is so fucking random.
Interesting. It's entirely out of left field. Very, very bizarre. Sure, that's a thing. We got to look at Oberhasli? Oberhasli? I'm not sure.
Oberhasli, yeah.
Yeah. This is a Dead Mouse game?
Yeah.
Some sort of an interactive...
I think it looks like shit. So
yeah, it doesn't look great.
Is a goat.
Okay.
It's a kind of goat.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. Deadmau5 is in a bunch of shit right now. He's in the, what was the pop figure EF NFT?
Oh,
shit
I have no clue. I can't remember at all what that game was called.
God, you know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's in a ton of different stuff. I mean, he's just got money and he's just getting into
Why
a
not?
bunch of things.
Century Age of Ashes is launching November 18th, and this is a game where you can play as a human or a dragon, and I think the pretty obvious choice is to play as a fucking dragon. Why would you be a human when you can be a dragon? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, so we got a new trailer for this, as well as basically an announcement that this will be releasing sometime later this year. I think we kind of knew that was on that track, but we weren't 100% sure. This looks cool still. 4-player co-op. I mean, why not? Might as well give it a shot. Sifu. So this is the action game where you age as you fight, and this kind of showed another trailer, as well as giving a release date, which had been kind of delayed indefinitely at one point in time. It will be releasing on February 22nd. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. So they've been announcing a handful of different characters. We haven't been covering it just because it seems kind of like a niche market to some extent, but the most recent one that they announced during Gamescom is Morgana from Persona 5 is actually going to be a playable character. This game will release on October 5th. Splitgate announced that Season 0 is live now, and the Season 0 is entirely free to play. And, I mean, the game's free to play, but you can kind of get your feet wet and get into that first season entirely free, so kind of cool. New World is getting a open beta, which is awesome, starting September 9th and running through the 12th, which I will definitely check this out. I almost pre-ordered the game just so I could get access to the beta, but I decided not to.
Did you see sorry, this is completely random. No, finish and then I'll
okay. And the last thing, this was, again, not in order, but Tales of Luminaire, which is a Tale series mobile game, got a trailer, as well as another trailer for Tales of Arise. So this is pretty cool. I'm stoked on both of these games, and pumped to see more, and I still have not played the beta for this. Oops.
So the Dead Mouse game, Oberhasli, or Oberhasli, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Roblox, essentially.
Okay.
So basically, you get in there, it's like a world editor. You can create your own games, and then you can also play a shit ton of other games because there's games within the game, and then there's also games within a dash, essentially. So he's kind of like starting like a little bit of a Steam, and then the game is also like one of the first ones on the platform, and that's the only place you can play it, I believe. And yeah, just trying to start a little game business. Kind of smart, I guess. Kind of interesting. You know, it is what it is. We'll see how it works out. The thing I wanted to bring up before I move on to the next piece of news, did you see that fucking cat dog is going to be in the Nickelodeon Brawl?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Cat dog, bro.
Absolutely. Stoked.
Cat dog.
I'm really excited to try that game when it comes out.
Yeah.
Like, I will absolutely play that game.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Moving on, some more news. Jesse McCree is officially getting a name change. That would be McCree from Overwatch. So the name has not been announced yet, but this change has delayed a narrative ACR that was supposed to begin in September. A narrative update. Sorry. That was supposed to begin in September, but was delayed because of all of the stuff going on with Activision Blizzard, and it's
what's
things up.
Yeah, that's definitely the main reason behind it. But when they announced the name change thing, they kind of were like,
that.
"Well,
yeah."
They were like, "Well, this is why we're delaying it. That's not why you're delaying it. Let's be honest."
Have also vowed to refrain from naming characters after real employees in the future, which that's a fucking huge bummer.
Yeah. So
because what if there's a good person? Does that mean every single person at Blizzard is a fucking sexual harasser? I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, if everyone wants to label themselves at Blizzard, if every Blizzard employee is a sexual harasser, and thus we can't name anything after them, sounds like a terrible company to me, but, you know.
I don't think it's a bad idea to not name it after employees, just because you do run the risk of something like this coming out. Because I assume at this time, most people thought that this Jesse McCree guy was probably a decent fella, aside from, obviously whoever had been involved with his sexual harassment. But to the general public, he had seemed like a decent person.
Nobody knew the character was named after him.
Yeah, that's the other issue.
They fucking announced it, so it would have never been an issue.
Right.
Do you know why they announced it? We're blunt on this show. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Because they were having all the fucking problems, so it's a great distraction PR, and it's a, look at us, look what we're doing. Oh,
absolutely.
This is fucking dumb. I'm sorry. Should they keep the name McCree? If they didn't tell me that it was named after the guy who is a sexual harasser, which, by the way, we found this out after the fact. We found the name out after the fact, like a week after it had been laid out that this guy had been doing a bunch of crazy shit, like taking people to the fucking room where, it's not funny, but Bill Cosby, like...
Yeah, and they called it the fucking Cosby room.
The Cosby suite or whatever, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the fact that we found out about that, and then a week later decide, why don't we also just tell everybody that McCree was named after that guy? Wouldn't that be a good idea? And so none of us really gave a fuck, because I just thought McCree, that sounds like a pretty like a pretty badass cowboy name. Sounds smart, cool.
Yeah, it made sense, right?
Meets everything. And then, they're like, hey, that cowboy character you really like? We named him after that dude that thought it was funny about raping women. And you're like, whoa, hold on a second.
Right.
Why would you do this? Why would you name it after him? Why would you tell me that?
Yeah, I actually forgot that McCree's name was Jesse, and I never even made the connection when it came out that Jesse McCree was one of the guys that involved in all that shit. I never even made that connection at all.
The internet didn't.
But yeah, I mean, the majority of people did not, but I also do kind of understand why they want to change it. I mean, it makes sense that it's a weird stain on the company, so they want to distance themselves from it, which. Fair enough, right?
Now I know about it, but I also think it's a bunch of bullshit because they also released a big old fucking statement of like, look how great we are for doing this. How about you just stop employing people who think it's funny to rape people?
Yeah, there's a novel idea.
I think that would be a bigger step than, going into your game and changing, fucking 5 characters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
probably a bigger move with a bigger impact. But that's just me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who the fuck am I, right?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I'm blunt. I just think the whole thing's really stupid. Like, I agree with you. Like, they need to change it because now everybody knows it's that guy. But also at the same time, the way
if they never would have...
Well, it's the way that they're announcing it and doing shit. Like, if you're gonna fucking
look at me
about how fucking good you are, you're not good. You still have a bunch of sexual harassment claims all over the fucking place and a bunch of terrible things going on with your company. You're not good. You're far from it. You've just changed the name of something. It takes 2 seconds to do so in the game. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's like what we talked about. It's a selfishness, right? It's look at me, look how nice of a human being I am. It's like, well, you don't have to do that.
Right.
You could just be fucking decent.
Yeah, I don't like. I agree. I don't like the way that they're coming out and being like, well, hey, look at us. We're doing this thing. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Which people do
you
we
want a
take care of the
fucking
most?
cookie?
Which people do we take care of the most? The fictional video game characters in our company, not the
right.
actual
Never mind
people.
the actual employees.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
it's fucked all the way around.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway,
I just like to get my 2 cents because everybody, like all the video game journos out there, put out like how this is such a bold move. It's like it's not.
It's not a bold move.
That is so silly to say that.
Yeah, they have to change the name, and they're not going to go back and retcon much of anything. So it is what it is. They're probably, I don't. We'll see what they change the name to, but I bet it's
people are just taking it and naming it terrible things.
Yeah, absolutely.
With, worse than like Cosby and Epstein and
it's fucked. Absolutely fucked. So we have some quick Pokemon news here. Blastoise will be joining Pokemon Unite on September 1st. Pokemon TV has now launched on the Nintendo Switch, so this will feature full episodes of Pokemon the series, matches from the world of Pokemon, as well as some junior content for the youngins. Kind of cool. Pokemon Go has also permanently reverted Pokestop and gym interaction distance to 80 meters. I didn't even want to put that in there because I knew you were going to laugh at it.
I just shake my head. It's fine.
Okay, that's fine. I'm stoked on that.
Here's my question. Where the fuck is Pokemon Sleep?
Yeah, we still haven't gotten Pokemon Sleep. I want Pikachu to watch me fucking sleep, goddammit.
Go back and figure out how many days it's been since we last heard about Pokemon Sleep.
It was like February of 2020. February of 2020. I don't want to figure out
into this.
Yeah. A year and a half with no Pokemon Sleep still.
Good God. Goodness.
That's a thing.
We got your Xbox games with Gold, Brody. So you're going to get Warhammer Chaos Bane. This is going to be available September 1st to the 30th. Mulaka will be available September 16th to October 15th. Zone of the Enders HD Collection will be available September 1st to 15th. And Samurai Showdown 2 will be available September 16th to the 30th. At the time of this recording, the PlayStation Plus games for September have yet to be announced. I'm sure they will be announced tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow. Absolutely. Every fucking time.
And people are like, what a bunch of idiots. They missed the PlayStation stuff.
That's why I threw it in there, because it's happened before. We're like, oh, here's the Xbox games. But
it's weird because they don't. Xbox usually does it the same day every month. PlayStation just like randomly puts it out there.
Sometimes they'll do it like the first day of that month, because a lot of times their PlayStation Plus games don't actually go live until like the 4th or 5th or something like that. So they'll do it like the very first day of the month, and you're like, I mean, you could have given us a week head up. Like, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Anything catch your eye there? I mean, nothing.
Not really. I mean, games.
The Chaos Bane's kind of cool.
Games
but
of Gold has become meh because you have Game Pass, obviously, right? So
right.
You can't.
Trying to funnel everybody to that ecosystem.
I imagine Games of Gold goes away.
At this point, why not? I'm probably not going to play any of these.
Most of the shit that's on it goes to Game Pass or has just come off of it.
Right. Or I mean, at this point, we've recycled some of these games too. I don't think from this list, but we have definitely seen some games that have gone through
either a couple of times or through Game Pass program to then Games with Gold program.
I mean, the PlayStation Plus games have been pretty good. I mean, the last couple of months have been but there for a while they were really, really good. And even their bad months haven't been bad. They're just not games that interest me particularly. No. So to close out here, because this ended up being a lot longer than we hoped for, because I actually did go through the Gamescom stuff, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to or not. The upcoming game releases for the week. So August 17th, you can get Baldo on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Oh my god!
Did you realize that until now?
No.
Oh, shit.
The worst part is nobody's going to understand why we're laughing our asses off right now.
Go
but
listen to one of the first episodes of the Objectively Bad Opinions podcast.
No, it was during E3 when we did all the shows with WASD.
That's
is when
right.
the Baldo thing came up.
Go to our E3 broadcast and Baldo will come up numerous
Baldo.
times.
It was a running joke.
It
was a way to turn your balls into a dildo, essentially. Just to be as blunt as humanly possible.
And now there's a game.
Now there's a game that probably has nothing to do.
No, it doesn't.
Never look at that title without thinking of it.
Oh my god.
No More Heroes 3 is coming to Switch, and Tormented Souls is coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch. On August 30th, you can get Book of Travels for PC. August 31st, the 1st, you can get The Big Con on PC, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One. Crown Trick is coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Kiwi is coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Manhunter Truth Quest DLC is coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X. What'd I say?
Manhunter.
Oh, Maneater, sorry. Sounded right in my head. PS4 and Xbox One. Monster Harvest is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Wrestler is coming to PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Train Life, a railway simulator, is coming to PC. September 1st, Lake is coming to PC and Xbox Series X. And on September 2nd, a Total War Saga Troy Mythos expansion is coming to PC. El Shadi Ascension of the Metatron is coming to PC. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is coming to PC. And WRC 10 is coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One.
A lot of games coming out now.
A lot of games.
So it begins.
Yeah, No More Heroes 3 is finally releasing on Switch. I feel like this has been forever in the making. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Wow. It's a big deal. Anything you could try or no?
That Kiwi game actually kind of looks interesting for kind of like a smaller indie game. Other than that, not so much.
Gotcha. Cool.
Just my personal taste in games. There's some stuff I've definitely heard quite a bit about, but for my personal taste, I think Kiwi's about the only one, and then fucking Baldo.
That is too funny that's the name of it. I can't believe that.
That's incredible.
I mean, what are the odds? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching and for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to our podcast. Spread the news about Diggity, please. Also, tell your friends, your family, your loved ones, even your hated ones. Doesn't matter. We'll take the listen, baby. Not a big deal.
Even if you don't like them, they might like us.
That's right. You can find me on PlayStation. My PSN is Maple Jeff. Add me up.
Mine is Luscious Brody. It's capital Luscious, capital Brody, and no spaces. But on Xbox, it's Luscious Brody as well, and it's capital Luscious, capital Brody with a space.
Because someone else somehow took the one without one. That's great. I love it. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Last little peace out. Thoughts and prayers go to those who lost their lives today in Afghanistan too.
Yeah,
that's awful. So thank you to the people who serve the country and protect people's freedoms and help out around the world. Shitty day with people, 13 now at this point lost their lives that were U.S. Service members, which sucks. But brighter days on the horizon. So until next time, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for listening, and we will see you later. Bye.